Joker 2. I'll try to say the real name one time. Joker Folie. I don't know if that's right. I don't think this movie really earned the right for me to go out of my way to try to say the correct title. But Joker 2, spoiler review. I do have a version of this review up on my blog, soundofbattermyhead.com. No spoilers on there. If you want to check that out, first or instead or whatever. I actually ended up giving this movie a 1.5 out of 5. It sounded a little low. I very rarely give ratings that low, but I just felt like I couldn't give it any higher. I didn't hate this movie. I wasn't sitting there going, this is garbage, which usually happens with like a 1-star movie. I'm like, this is terrible. I just didn't enjoy really any aspect of it. I have no desire to watch any of it again. I don't even know where to start. Let's start at the start. There's this weird little cartoon sequence at the beginning. I didn't care for the animation. Like, I don't know what it looked like they were trying to go for this old Looney Tunes style initially, but then it wasn't. It was just some completely own unique art style, and I don't know. I didn't think it really looked that cool. The story it was trying to tell was like, okay, what's this mean for the rest of the movie? It felt like it really didn't. It seemed like they're implying, oh, Arthur Fleck's shadow is the one doing all the bad stuff, but the only person that really thought that were the psychiatrists, and that was trying to get him off of, out of jail, basically. Like, Arthur never really seemed to believe that, and it wasn't even the case, so I don't know what that was supposed to be. The plot itself, it's just like, you get Arthur in jail, which kind of is like a letdown from the last movie. The last movie, what made the last movie good or interesting was that it's the origin of the Joker. So at the end of it, everything you went through watching him, at the end of it, he's supposed to be the Joker. He wasn't quite what I would call a comic accurate Joker, but he was about as close as he was going to get. Like, okay, that works. And then here he's all the way back to kind of where he was again. Now he's in jail. People know who he is, but he's like, they make fun of him. He lost that power that the Joker had, and he lost that confidence. He's just lost in the world again, and it's kind of like, well, now you got to build him back up. So the prison stuff's okay. He meets Lee, their version of Harley Quinn, and it feels a little rushed. That whole story, it's like they meet. She kind of comes after him. They pretty quickly kiss, and then not long after that, they have sex already, and it gets weird from there. And then that finally moves on to the courtroom section of the movie. Because at this point, you're like, where is this movie going? What are they building towards? And you finally get to the courtroom. It's like, okay, the courtroom drama is going to be what makes the movie. Like, how is this going to work? Is he going to become the Joker again? Like, what's going to make this movie worth my time? It's going to have to be this courtroom drama. And it just doesn't really go anywhere. It starts off a little slow, and his lawyer's doing a decent job arguing for him. I still don't know if she would have got him off. She seemed to think she could have, but I don't know. It seemed like the odds were too stacked against him. Then he tosses her. He becomes his own lawyer. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be some kind of wild, over-the-top thing that somehow gets him out of there. And it doesn't. Like, even if he stuck with it the whole time, it was bad. It was like, it wasn't. He just spouting gibberish. It's like putting a real crazy person in the court and having them trying to like defend themselves, and it's not going to work. And it just was going nowhere. It was just an excuse to put him in the Joker makeup, basically. And then at the end, he just kind of gives up anyways, and he's guilty, and they blow him out of there. I'm like, okay, well, where's this going? Someone blew him out of the side of the court. He's out in the world. Like, where's this going? Maybe this is what saves the movie. And no, he just wanders around. He eventually finds Lee, and she basically tells him to fuck off and leaves. And then he gets thrown back in Arkham, and then the fucking bizarre ending where he gets stabbed to death in the hallway at Arkham, and that's it. And then the movie's over. And then we wasted a couple hours of our lives, and it pretty much wasted the first movie. And then I kind of hit at it there a little bit. You get the Arthur's arc, and his arc's just pointless. Like, the first movie's about turning him the Joker. Apparently this movie's about making him regret being the Joker and basically dying as Arthur Fleck. And it's not Return of the Jedi. You're not trying to redeem yourself. Like, I was really hoping that this movie would cement him as like he doesn't have to be the criminal mastermind Joker, but just really nail him as like a Joker, as like some of the Gotham, half the Gotham like seems to worship, the other half is like afraid of it. It didn't. He's just he ended up being a nobody again. He was like someone that wanted to be the Joker, and then he ended up not being the Joker because he just wasn't good at it. And then they get this weird thing with the other inmate that killed him. He looks like he wants to be the Joker. And this is the only real spoiler I've seen before going in the movie is that there's a tie, possibly the Heath Ledger's Joker, and I think it's just because this guy does look a little bit like a young Heath Ledger. He does give himself the Glasgow smile at the end, but I don't think any of the. If it's really intended to be the Ledger Joker, I don't think nothing adds up because Harley Dent already had an accident that messed half his face up. You already had a Joker that already existed, so like the other movies where it's like, hey, remember there used to be a Joker, and now this new guy is the Joker. Like none of that would line up with that being the case. If anything, it reminds me of even a dumber decision that, spoiler for Gotham, the Gotham TV series, there was a character that was basically the Joker. He was acting like the Joker. It was the Joker all the way through, the last few seasons, even the final episode. But the producers determined that this was not the Joker. Didn't matter how much he acted like the Joker, his existence and just Gotham in general would create a different Joker down the road, which I always hated that Joker was supposed to be sort of an original thing, like, especially in Gotham. Like, no one ever seen anything like it before. And now this version copied basically off a couple other guys that lived before him. Like, oh, I'm going to be like that. And now that kind of feels like the ending of the Joker 2 is that this guy's like, I'm the real Joker. There was a Joker, and now I'm the real Joker. Like, there should only be one Joker in any universe, not like the guy that was inspired by another guy. So every part of that ending turned me off. Like, at every level, I was like, all right, this is a terrible ending to this story. Harley Quinn herself, the acting was, the performances, besides the point, performances all the way through were great. I can't take anything from that. I think the film looked great. The regular score is good. But Harley Quinn, did not like her interpretation. I know they're trying to make her grounded. I don't know. Just didn't know how to feel about her. She lied about her origin the first time you meet her, and then they dropped the bomb later on that she wasn't who she said she was. I don't know. You never knew what anything about her. Like, she supposedly was obsessed with the Joker, but I didn't know if that was true or not. We never seen like anything of her personality about we hardly ever seen her when she wasn't with the Joker. And the scenes kind of backed up what she was saying, but I don't know. It just didn't sell it for me. I never felt like she was a real person, and I understood what she was doing or why she was doing it. Even when you guys at the end kind of told you the whole thing was a lie and it was a fantasy. Even that didn't click. I was like, I don't understand this character. I don't want to root for her or hate her. She's just there. She's just there. And the Harley Quinn's supposed to be such a great character, and you're just like, yeah, she was there. She was in the movie, I guess. And I think it might have hit harder, or her reveal was later in the film. Like the last act, he meets her on the stairs, and she's like, oh no, I'm a psychiatry student, and my dad's alive, and I'm not actually pregnant. Like, oh, that might have almost hit there. Because I think you would have been more into their story up to that point, and then you find out, no, everything she told him was a lie. That, in my opinion, might have worked better. And then the other elephant in the room for this movie is that it's a musical. I think it failed on that front as well. I'm not a big fan of musicals. They're done well. I might find myself enjoying parts of them, but it's usually not what I sign up for. And there's at least usually a song I'm really into, either playing it or maybe even later on it's still stuck in my head. Didn't get that really here. I think there was one song later in the film with those mostly Lady Gaga that I was actually kind of into. I was kind of jamming to it, and then it kind of stopped. I was like, oh, I kind of wanted more of that. Most of the rest of it's just people singing normal. It's singing on par with what you would sing on Happy Birthday to somebody. It's just kind of singing. You're not really belting out tunes. They're just kind of singing, sort of. And it wasn't like most musicals where you jump into a fantasy world and everybody starts singing and dancing around you. For the most part, all these scenes were them literally singing to each other, and people had to stand there and watch as they're singing. They didn't say anything like, hey, why, dude, cut it out. And it wasn't good performances. Because of that, there wasn't really much movement. They were just more or less standing there. They maybe do a little twirl, but they were just kind of singing. And then there was maybe 3 or 4 sections where they did jump into a fantasy world, and then it was all lights and spotlights and all that fun stuff and sets, and popped a little bit more, and they really started to let them sing, especially Lady Gaga. And those parts are okay, but it just kind of kept taking you out of the story because they were. A lot of times when you're doing a musical, the character's doing something and it turns into the musical. Like kind of here, I feel like they interjected them in like weird parts sometimes. It's like, oh, we'll throw a musical thing here instead of it was like part of the scene. It felt like it dragged everything down, and the movie didn't feel like it was really going anywhere to begin with. And because these were all, it was a jukebox musical. These were all songs that were pre-written. Yeah, they did seem to talk about there were certain circumstances at that point in their what they were thinking and all that. But like most musicals, these characters sing original songs, and you know what they're feeling, you hear what they're thinking. It's like almost like a little cheat. It's almost like when you read a book and you know the character's thinking. When they have to sing, you hear more of their like intimate thoughts that they're because usually not everyone could hear their singing for whatever reason. Musicals. I don't know. I think I've gone on like too much about this movie. It was just kind of there. Like the story didn't work. The musical didn't work. The acting was good. The looked good. I thought the directing was fine. The cinematography was great. I felt like it just kind of took everything and just kind of flushed it down the toilet at the end. I don't know. It was some kind of feedback from the first movie where like everyone felt like the Joker was glorified. Where here they're like, nah, he's just a putz. Don't be like the Joker. Like I don't know what the intent was in this film. Yeah, well, that's it. I'm not gonna go on forever. I'm sure I'm forgetting something that I wanted to mention, but why take the time? Like I said earlier, I do got the spoiler-free version of this review. I have other reviews, TV reviews, movie reviews, a video game review or two. I got another review coming up, not too much longer, I hope. I got some comic strips on there, so if you want to check any of that stuff out, go for it. That's all at soundofbetterinmyhead.com, and thanks for watching.